attained great enlightenment. He was very worried when he observed this world. With the development of scientific civilization, the human spirit, which should be making use of material things, had steadily weakened, while the power of material things had daily grown stronger. Conquering that weakened spirit and bringing it under its domination, humans had become enslaved by this material civilization. Since material civilization flourishes daily with immense power, there can be no peace of mind, whether at the level of the individual, family, society, or nation. Observing this state of things, Sotaesan told his disciples, how can we, who have set our hearts on saving the world, think lightly of this situation? And he asked them to offer prayer to save the whole world. When he had asked the disciples to offer prayer, he said, your mind is none other than that of heaven. Hence, you should know that if your mind is concentrated and completely devoid of selfishness, its virtues will become as one with the virtues of heaven and earth, and it will lead all your affairs to success. Therefore, you must realize that each of your minds possesses an element that can move the will of heaven. And always remember that each of you has a responsibility to deliver all sentient beings. Then the 9 disciples of Sotaesan offered prayer so sincerely that their sincerity and dedication eventually moved the heavens, and the miraculous sign followed. After seeing that sign, Sotaesan composed the Dharma names and gave them to his disciples like faith. He said, your past names were secular names, and they were individual, private names. The people who had been given those names have already died. Now, I have called you back to life by bestowing on you these new public names for use throughout the world. Receive and keep your Dharma name with honor, and deliver numerous sentient beings. Just like the Dharma names of Sotaesan's disciples contain utmost sincerity and dedication If you are unselfish, awake, and mindful, you can be united with and use that power and virtue. Representing all practitioners, the 9 model disciples of Sotaesan already offered prayer with utmost sincerity and moved the heavens. That is why, and that is how we now are here receiving the Dharma names very comfortably. Those before us already walked the difficult path and paved the way. Just like DNA is transmitted, the spiritual energy can be handed down, and we can use that spiritual energy from our Dharma names and from our teachers. That is why from ancient times, all practitioners of various traditions searched for masters who could guide them. Sotaesan, the founding master of Won Buddhism, laid the foundation for us to search for and be united with truth. Thanks to Sotaesan and his disciples, we can walk the Dharma path without so much difficulty. Our mind is none other than that of heaven. If our mind is concentrated and completely devoid of selfishness, its virtues will become as one with the virtues of heaven and earth. And each of our minds possesses an element that can move the will of heaven. We should remember that each of us has a responsibility to deliver all sentient beings. Our DNA is wired in that way. Our mind is Buddha. That realm is empty but full of mysterious, wonderful things. This realm may be visualized as the circular image. Can you see this circular image at the altar? The content of this realm also manifests as the fourfold grace. The grace of heaven and earth, the grace of hearers, the grace of fellow beings, the grace of laws. The fourfold grace is all things of the universe. So the world we are living in is full of grace and is in fact grace itself. Don't you think that everything is in this world is a mystery? From time to time, we see a lot of beautiful things around us. One shining day, I saw the leaves moving under the wind. I also discovered the beauty If we are not aware, we cannot escape from all kinds of difficult and challenging situations. In order for us to realize everything is grace and gratitude. In order for us to practice in one or one circle. So Taesan, our founding master, encouraged us to be always awake in our daily life. We need to realize and maintain, nurture and use that original mind which is our true nature. Do you know the story about the street sweeper who became a saint? His job was to clean the street, which is a very plain job, but when he did it to the very best of his ability. In that way, while he was doing this very mundane work, he gradually attained enlightenment and became a saint. This is the story from Baba Haradas. Baba Haradas, maybe pronunciation. Who called this saint of silence in India. There is a well-known Buddhist temple nearby a house in Korea. So Taesan often told this story about young men who came to that temple. One day, one young man whose hair was so unkempt came to the temple and said he would like to lend a volunteering hand, but he said he would work there only under one condition. When the Buddhist master was to give a Dharma talk, he could be there to listen to the master's words. He started to work there, and every day he worked in the kitchen and carried wood and cleaned all the areas of the monastery. In addition to that, he had to serve and help many monks with their chores. It was a very hard life. But no matter how tired he was, he never missed the Dharma talk, which was delivered at night. 20 years passed in that way. One day the monks tried to ask him to do some errands, but they could not find him. They searched every corner of the monastery. They saw a very suspicious and bright light coming from the backyard of the monastery. When they arrived there, they discovered that the man had entered Nirvana in a seated posture with a subtle smile on his face. In Buddhist tradition, the bright light shines when a person passes away and has entered sainthood. At that moment, they realized he was a great spiritual person who had attained enlightenment. That man did not practice sitting meditation much, but kept his mind bliss and meditative state of mind in his daily life activities. He practiced patience, dedication, and live the life of contentment. In other words, he practiced tireless meditation and placeless meditation. So Tesan often asked this. Even when you have to do chores all the time, can you live a peaceful life, content, without complaints? Just like the man in this story, we need to practice it in our daily life. Daily lives. Just like the man in this story, we need to practice it in our daily life. We need to practice mindfulness and try to maintain peaceful and contented state of mind always. Especially when we encounter some difficult situation, we need to pause our mind and act properly based on sound thought. This is the practice of healing oneself. This practice can be done whenever you are, wherever you are. It is called one Buddhism, timeless Zen, placeless Zen. And also we say timeless meditation, placeless meditation. We practitioners should be able to see beauty even when we are sick or lonely. When we see things as they are, all things are beautiful by themselves. We can see touched by all the things which surround us. But when we see things with a complaining or upset mind, things look that way. Reflecting exactly our state of mind. This is just like when we see all things with rose-colored eyeglasses. The world looks rosy. When we see things with blue glasses, the world appears blue. life which Sotaesan, the founding master of One Buddhism, wants us to live is the life of spiritual awakening, the life of gratitude to all people so that all sentient beings can be delivered into nirvana naturally. Sotaesan repeatedly said that the people who entered One Buddhism during the first 101 Buddhist years are the ones who have a very strong karmic tie with him. After this year, this solid karmic tie or affinity will be over. We are lucky, isn't it? I sincerely congratulate you for having received the Dharma name. Even though it is invisible, the heavenly flowers are now blooming and the heavenly auspicious rain is falling upon us. Can you see now? I can see, I can hear. Maybe Sineng. Who is Sineng? Douglas' name is Sineng. Can you see? I am sure he see now. This world is already full of grace and gratitude. The world is already